Hello and welcome to this video where I want to talk about RM's album Indigo. Bit of an album review, which to be honest, I don't really make too many album review videos specifically. I more so stick with just reactions or ranking songs from albums. But this time, I want to do a quick review and then I'm going to list like my top 5 most listened to tracks from Indigo. And the reason why I want to do this is because I have gotten some requests to react to it, but I was so excited about this album that I personally decided to just listen to it on my own when it was released, as opposed to listening to it for YouTube like I did for J-Hope's Jack in the Box. I wanted to talk about this album still, though, because I just feel like this album from RM is one that I would love for many people to listen to, because I genuinely feel like there is something for, I can't say everyone, that's too general, but there is something for a lot of different people who may like singer-songwriter, more acoustic style music, or R&B, hip hop, pop, crossover R&B tracks. I mean, genuinely, there's so many great vibes on this album. So let's talk about it a little bit more in detail. I'm assuming if you clicked on this video, you probably know a little bit about who RM is, but if not, very briefly, he is a member of BTS and he is the leader of BTS. One thing about RM that I think many people who are casual BTS listeners do not realize is that, one, he is fluent in English, and two, because of that, he has naturally been not only the leader of the group, but a spokesperson on behalf of the whole group, especially when talking internationally, which is a lot of weight on someone's shoulders, I could imagine. But also, he is really into writing lyrics. He has written many lyrics of so many BTS songs, and I just feel like in general, he is someone that has proven to have a way with his words, very poetic, and how he either just speaks like in conversation, but you really see it shine in his lyrics, whether they're in Korean or English. So I wasn't sure what to expect from this album, because I have heard mixtapes or EPs kind of style things done from RM before. And Indigo truly is like a genre blending experimentation, production wise, and lyrically, it's a very revealing album. Lyrically, the overall theme of Indigo, and RM has said himself, is kind of like saying a summary of his 20s, saying goodbye to his 20s as he embarks on his 30s. And there are a lot of different emotions that are being sung about, like what was happening in his life in the 20s. One song in particular is just called Lonely. Lonely is just all about literally trying to find comfort in anything, like a phone call, anything to ease the just immense loneliness one could possibly feel, especially in his life where he's just stuck to a hotel room all the time. And then a few other tracks that I feel like lyrically really resonated with me the most. The song Wildflower also talks a lot about fame, which it makes sense for RM songs to talk about fame, because he spent his entire 20s being just wildly famous to a degree that literally so few people can ever know. And, just talking about the constraints of fame and wanting to be free and to shatter like whatever persona he's supposed to be, and just feeling like the ability to be his truest self. And people, regardless fame or not, I feel like that is a feeling that can be translated to every single person. And it's also just beyond the lyrics, it's so moving and theatrical. It's a very beautiful song with a wonderful vocalist. I do not know how to pronounce her name correctly. I feel like my best guess is Eugene, and her voice just complements the song for the chorus just wonderfully. It's piercing, it's powerful, it's intense. Although the lyrics are taking you through his 20s and the variety of emotions, and I would encourage people to look up the lyrics translated from Korean to English. What I personally think is so initially taking of this album that anyone could appreciate, regardless if you know Korean or not, without focus on the lyrics, is the production and the features on this album, because there are features on almost every single track. And I think they were very carefully picked to suit each song. I think Still Life is a banger of a song that can appeal to a wide audience of people. Anderson .Paak sounds just absolutely incredible on it, and his voice matches with the vibe incredibly well, as does RM's like rapping and everything. But also All Day is a song that I think translates beautifully to a wider audience. It's probably the quickest tempoed song and has a bit more of that like pop hip hop mixture to it. And then if you're someone who likes more so R&B, then the song Closer is definitely the one to listen to. And there are 2 features on that song, and it just has like a genuine kind of smooth R&B flow to it, and RM's also delivering more of his singing vocals on that as well. Oh, and then Change Part 2 is kind of a rogue track because it is very discombobulated in the production. It doesn't make any logical sense with the sort of transitions, while all of the other songs have a bit more of a like very sleek, polished, well-produced feel to it. This one still feels well produced, but it is not polished whatsoever. It feels raw and gritty. And then even the opening track, Yeon, which is featuring Erykah Badu, which is a crazy feature to see on an album. Like, you just don't think you would see that name tied to a member of BTS, but it works beautifully. But that song was inspired by one of RM's favorite Korean painters, which I will include the name of right here. And it's like showing RM's deep appreciation for art. I mean, this guy, I feel like, just really loves visual art more than so many people do. There's really just so much, and I feel like the thoughtfulness in who was chosen to be featured and how well these features suit the tracks. Like, these aren't features that he picked to just have like a big name on a track to try and help with it being commercial. Like, I genuinely feel like everything was just such a specific artistic choice for what he wanted to convey and how he wanted to present himself. And I applaud that so much, because for someone in his level of celebrity and like commercial popularity, I can only imagine that there is this, whether you acknowledge it or not, you gotta have this like sense of what's gonna do best on the charts in your brain. And I feel like even though a song like Still Life clearly is meant to attract or be very listenable to a wide audience, like, he picked Wildflower as his lead single, which is a mostly Korean song with a Korean artist feature on it. And I think it shows that he's really trying to let the message that he wanted to put out and his art he wanted to put out lead the way, as opposed to what is commercially the best thing to do. The tracks I find myself listening to the most from this album are definitely Still Life. It was a banger from the moment I first heard it. All Day. I really love listening to All Day. Closer, I think, is a wonderful R&B track that I love. And I also love the song Hectic, but ultimately Wildflower holds a very special place in my heart. So those are some of my tracks I have listened to the most. All in all, I just wanted to talk about this album very briefly because I was very impressed when I first heard it with all the variety. And I also love to try and make an effort to open people's eyes that might watch my channel that wouldn't normally listen to someone like RM. I want to open the door and let you know to give it a shot and try it out, because I really don't think you'll be disappointed if you give it a go. If you are someone who enjoys Indigo, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. I'd love to see what tracks you listen to the most from it as well. And if you enjoyed the video, please go and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, bye.